Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're making crispy pan-fried chicken with veggies in honey soy glaze. We start with olive oil in the pan. Butter goes in right after, and I let it melt evenly into the oil. That combo keeps things from burning while adding a rich golden flavor. Now I'm taking the chicken breast and patting it dry with a paper towel. This part always reminds me of Friday nights growing up, when my mom made fried chicken strips for basically the whole neighborhood. Kids would show up on our porch like they had a sixth sense for it. She never measured a single thing, just patted the chicken dry, floured it, and fried it up like she'd done it 1,000 times. I'm slicing the chicken into strips now, keeping them close to the same width the whole way through this entire piece of chicken breast we're working with tonight. That consistency matters here. Strips cut the same size, cook through at the same rate, so you're not left waiting on one thick piece while the thinner ones dry out completely. Flour gets poured out onto a plate, ready for the chicken strips to go through. A sprinkle of pink Himalayan salt goes over the flour, seasoning it before anything else touches it. Black peppercorns get ground fresh right over the flour, and I stir it all together with a spoon before doing anything else. Mixing the seasoning into the flour itself, instead of just onto the chicken, means every single strip picks up the exact same amount of flavor once it gets coated. Now I'm laying the chicken strips into that flour mixture and using kitchen tongs to coat each piece completely before setting it aside on a plate. Coating the chicken like this before it hits the pan isn't just about texture. That thin flour layer seals in the juices as the chicken fries, so what you get is a crisp, golden crust on the outside and chicken that stays tender and juicy underneath, instead of drying out the second it touches hot oil. It's a small step that takes maybe a minute per batch, but it makes the difference between chicken that just tastes fried and chicken that actually tastes like something you'd order at a restaurant. The strips go into the pan with the tongs, laid out with a little space between each one so they've each got their own room to crisp up properly, instead of steaming each other in that crowded, hot pan we just used a minute or two ago. After a few minutes, I flip the meat over with the tongs, giving the other side its turn to pick up that same golden brown color everywhere. You can already hear the sizzle change slightly once that first side is properly done, which is honestly a pretty reliable sign that it's time to flip it over. A few more minutes later, the chicken comes out of the pan with the tongs. Done for now, while all the vegetables get their own turn in that same flavorful pan it was just cooking in a minute ago. Now I'm slicing an onion into half moons. This kind of cut is basically the backbone of stir fries everywhere in the entire world, from Chinese woks to Cajun kitchens down south. Onion sliced this way is always usually the very first thing that hits the hot oil, since it builds the whole flavor base everything else gets layered onto later in this same exact pan. The onion goes into the pan and I stir it all together with a silicone spatula. letting it start to soften right in that leftover chicken flavor, still coating the entire bottom of the pan from cooking those crispy strips just a few short minutes earlier on today, right here on the stove. Now I'm cutting a carrot into thin matchsticks. Quick question for you today. Out of every vegetable that goes into a stir fry like this one, which one is your absolute must-have? The one you'd never leave out no matter what changes in the recipe? For me, it's always carrots. Something about that little bit of sweetness against everything savory just works so well. Tell me yours in the comments. I read every single one of them. Those carrot sticks go into the pan, and I stir everything together with the spatula so they start picking up all that good flavor already building up nicely in there, from the onions and all the fried chicken pieces still clinging to the sides of that same hot pan we cooked in. Celery gets cut into matchsticks next. I'll be honest, celery took me years to actually like. As a kid, I used to pick it out of every dish my grandmother made, convinced it tasted like nothing. It wasn't until I started cooking it myself, in something like this, that I finally understood what it was doing there the whole time. It's not about celery's flavor. It's about the crunch and how it soaks up everything cooking around it. The celery goes into the pan, and I mix it in with the spatula, right alongside the onion and carrots that are already softening up nicely down there in that exact same pan. Now I'm slicing 3 whole heads of garlic into rings. That's a whole lot of garlic, I know. If that feels like way too much for your own personal taste, cutting it down to just 1 or 2 heads works completely fine here too. Though the dish just won't have quite that same bold, garlicky punch running all through every single bite at the very end of your tasty meal tonight together. All that garlic goes into the pan, and I stir it in with the spatula, letting its smell fill up the whole kitchen almost instantly, the very second it hits that hot oil sitting right there in the pan. 2 mushrooms get cut in half, then sliced into thin pieces. The second these hit that hot pan, with everything else already cooking away in there, you get this deep, earthy smell rising up right away, and that little sizzle as their edges start to brown is honestly one of my absolute favorite sounds in the whole entire kitchen right now. It tells you dinner's actually getting somewhere really good, finally, after all that prep work you just went through. The mushroom slices go into the pan, and I stir everything together with the spatula, folding them in gently with the rest of the vegetables that are already cooking away nicely in there. Now half a zucchini gets cut into thin matchsticks. One thing worth knowing here, zucchini holds a whole ton of water inside it. So if your pan's already crowded with vegetables, give everything a little extra room and a slightly higher heat when it goes in. Otherwise, the zucchini releases all its water at once, and the whole pan ends up steaming instead of getting that nice, satisfying sear that everyone really actually wants on their vegetables at the very end of cooking. Those zucchini sticks go into the pan, and I mix everything together with the spatula so they settle in nicely with the rest of the vegetables already sitting there and cooking away happily together in that whole same hot pan we've already got going. A red chili gets sliced into rings on an angle, which just gives you these longer, prettier little ovals instead of plain round circles once they land scattered all through the whole finished dish at the very end of absolutely everything we're cooking up together tonight in this whole entire kitchen of ours. The chili rings go into the pan and I stir them in with the spatula, distributing that good heat evenly through everything cooking away happily together in the pan. Right this very second now too, of course, naturally. Half a red bell pepper gets sliced into thin strips and goes in next, right along with everything else already cooking. Second question for today. How do you handle spice level in a dish like this one? Do you load up on chili peppers, keep it mild, or land somewhere right in the middle? I'm genuinely curious where everyone falls on that scale, so let me know down in the comments below. The bell pepper strips go into the pan and I mix everything together with the spatula, the very last vegetable finally joining this whole colorful mix. Already cooking away nicely there in that same big hot pan we've already got going quite strong right now. Black peppercorns get ground fresh right over all those vegetables, and I stir it in with the spatula, seasoning the entire pan all at once before anything else even happens next in this whole recipe of ours tonight, together here at home. The fried chicken comes back into the pan, and I stir everything together with the spatula, bringing the meat and all those vegetables together in that same pan once again at long last, finally reunited. A quarter cup of soy sauce goes into a glass bowl to start. A tablespoon of apple cider vinegar goes in right after it. A tablespoon of honey goes in too, bringing sweetness to balance all that salt. Black pepper gets ground fresh into that glass bowl, and I stir it all together with a teaspoon until it's completely and fully combined into one smooth, glossy little sauce mixture, ready to pour out now onto everything. A drizzle of olive oil goes in next, and I mix it through with the teaspoon, rounding out the whole sauce nicely before it goes anywhere else at all in this recipe. That sauce gets poured into the pan, and I stir everything together with the spatula, letting it coat every single piece of chicken and every last vegetable sitting inside that whole entire hot pan right now, completely and thoroughly. Fresh parsley gets chopped and sprinkled right over the top of the whole dish. This is the moment where the pan actually starts looking like something you genuinely want to eat. All that bright green scattered over the glossy sauce and golden chicken, right before the very last step. And honestly, the smell at this point alone is enough to pull anyone in the house straight into the kitchen to ask what's for dinner tonight already, no matter what else they're doing. Sesame seeds get sprinkled over everything, and one last stir with the spatula brings the whole finished dish together completely. ready to finally be plated up nicely for everyone here tonight. At very long last indeed. Finally, all done. Using the tongs, I moved the finished dish onto a plate, ready to finally be seen properly for the very first time tonight at last. Just take a look at this from every single angle here. Golden chicken, a whole mix of colorful vegetables, and that glossy honey soy glaze coating absolutely everything in sight right now. Everywhere. And here's the first bite. If this looked good, hit subscribe. See you in the next video.